Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Capricorn. If Capricorn is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Capricorn, our card tonight is the Queen of Discs. And this is a bonus reading, by the way. And so we have that really earthy energy, right? We have that kind of real Gaia, Mother Earth kind of vibe, okay? And let's go ahead. We're going to see what are these tea leaves going to tell us. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. Also, if you want to hit the like button or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. I know I do not like having to do that little part at the beginning. I know somebody in the comments said, you don't even have to do that. We're going to subscribe anyways, Lenore. Well, I do have to. Most channels do. If you watch anything on YouTube, I don't know if it just helps the algorithm or if it reminds people to engage. But yeah, it is a necessary part of this system that we're operating within here. And so thank you for being patient with that, with those messages. Okay, so now we have what looks like Hermes or Mercury, okay? And we can tell kind of by, well, the position of the feet. One is kind of up here and one is standing, almost kind of, if you could imagine the Magician card in the Thoth deck. We also have, it looks like a wing on the hat there. Now, holding, right, the snake. We know that Hermes or Mercury is very connected to the caduceus, especially within the medical, right? If you have ever seen any of the medical emblems, it is a caduceus or caduceus, however you want to say it. That is two snakes that are intertwined going up the staff of Hermes. Okay, so this is about transmutation through knowledge. This is about using the sciences and applying them to your life so that you might have some kind of transformation. Okay, and so I think you're in a place where there are some big changes kind of occurring, or you are beginning to enact a series of things, of movements that will kind of create a wave of change within your life. So that might be that you are planning, right? You're gathering the resources that you need, getting all of those little variables in place. And this feels very core to your physical life because we are working within the discs, which is the earth element, right? And which applies to kind of the Malkuthian sphere, which is the physical world, base reality, our waking life. And so I see you here, really in a place of taking these spiritual stirrings that I know that you're having because you're working with this Hermes energy and bringing it down into your physical world, right? So what does this look like? What could this possibly be, right? And so I do wonder, as I'm looking at, well, it looks like we have a person here who is holding a crucifix, okay? You might say, Lenore, I am not Christian. I am not religious. I am not, I don't partake in the Abrahamic religions or any religion. That could be. But that does not mean that this energy isn't out there in the collective, right? So I feel that there really is kind of a turn towards maybe exploration of religion, or maybe it is that you have somebody in your life who is, inviting you. Do you want to come to my church? Do you want to, maybe we should talk about, so you want to sit down and discuss. It could be, like a family member, a friend, a work acquaintance, whatever it is. But I do feel that there is some kind of openness here. Not that I don't think that a Capricorn is very closed off about spirituality. Now and I'm a Capricorn ascendant, so I'll say we might get a bad rap for being kind of immovable, or at least moving very slowly within our beliefs and our understandings, our perceptions. It takes a long time to kind of change our mind. But I don't think that that is true within the spiritual, the religious, psychological, phenomena, psychic phenomena, these kinds of things that dwell in those higher spheres, that would be considered probably interior matters. I feel that we're often much more open in these sectors of our being. And so I do feel that maybe there is some kind of curiosity. Maybe there is kind of a desire to research and maybe read a little bit about things that maybe are a mystery to you. You might not have a lot of time or experience within these realms. But ultimately, I don't know that it has to do with anything, within Christology, but I feel like this is more symbolic of a religious path. This is kind of the energy of the Hierophant. Okay, so we get the Hierophant together with this, Mercury energy. And of course, we're going to be really activated within those spiritual zones of self. So I'm interested. What are you reading about? What has kind of tickled your fancy? For me, I've begun reading, actually just yesterday, A Course in Miracles, right? And I'm not going to ever... I will never align myself with a system or a school of thought, because I'm really just a chaotic being. I'm very interested in a lot of different things. So when I bring up whatever I'm reading, or maybe something I'm interested in at that moment, I am not advocating for it. I am not out here, what's the word? Apostolizing about it or anything like that. I just, this happens to be what I find interest in right now. And so A Course in Miracles, if you're interested in looking into it, Eckhart, what is his name? Eckhart Tolle, is that how you say it? He has a bunch of videos. There's like interviews about him talking about it and stuff. So maybe something to look into if you're interested. But it could be that you're just on your own tip here. You're absolutely, interested in something new to you, something that, it almost feels like there's a calling, right? Like, come and look. Come and see. Come and lift the veil of these particular mysteries. And I'm interested. If you have any recommendations of books you're reading or things you're studying, put it in the comments section, because I am always looking for new things to check out. Okay, so it looks like it says gem. G-E-M. Gem. Might be Gemma. Gem. Like a stone, a mineral. Okay, so we have the Fool. And it looks like we have some kind of familiar. We also have, it looks like, I almost feel like this is like a mother energy. Maybe even the mother or the Queen of Discs next to a fire over here, keeping a fire. Now, we also have this masculine energy over here that looks like they're kind of in an aggressive posture. So, and I'm taking a drink here, sorry. This is my last reading of the night and my throat is spent. Whew. I started my, all of my supplements and stuff to get ready for flu season. My daughter hasn't gone back to school yet, but I have been reading about the people that, you know, that live around me, that in the old town I just moved from recently, in the town before that, and all of their kids are already bringing home a bunch of flus and colds and, you know, all the other things that kind of go around. And I'm not looking forward to sick season. If you have been with my channel or my husband, shout out to my husband over at Devon Serpent Tarot, for any amount of time, you might remember this last, well, it was late winter into spring. We were sick. And we would get better, and then a week later we'd be sick with something else, and it just was rough. Now, part of it was we were moving, right? We were running a business. I was packing the house. We were in the process of buying a house, and, you know, just all the stuff, and then moving. And oh my gosh, we could not catch up. We could just not get the rest that we needed. And so thank you for putting up with this voice of mine. I'm not sick right now, but yeah, I keep, every time, even just a little tickle, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So it feels like there was maybe a father, maybe a grandfather, an older brother, hyper masculine person, kind of that old timey, you know, really into like gender roles and being perceived as being a man's man, and, you know, this kind of thing. And I feel like you just are, you know, you're your own person, Capricorn. You know, you just kind of, you exist the way that you exist. You were not and are not really too concerned about, you know, having any kind of masculinity or femininity or a mixture of the, you don't, it's not about that for you. Like I don't think that you think about like how you're being perceived by others so much. And am I girly enough? Am I tough enough? You know, whatever these like really kind of, you know, gender specific conditionings that people have, that we all have, right? And And I think that put you at odds with this person in your life. I think that there was never really a time where you could just kind of be yourself with them. You know, whatever it was about their life, their own experience, that kind of really created this, well, you have to imagine maybe a hurt, a pain, an insecurity, whatever it is, that really made this part of their identity, like forward part of their identity. And really, I think, kind of created an energy that felt pretty oppressive, right? And so to them, I think that the only way that you could kind of navigate that dynamic was to play the fool, to be this kind of carefree, this maybe aloof, you know, maybe, you know, the only way you connected was through humor or, you know, your few kind of shared interests or whatever, but it never got to a deep kind of, you're not having philosophical conversations with this person, right? And well, I think this really informed, you know, as our parents do, as the adults of our life do, kind of informed your connection to people that kind of, you know, feel like this or are really kind of devoted to projecting a very particular energy, right? And I feel like it's almost kind of you recoil from somebody who is very rigid and dogmatic in not only how they perceive themselves, but they perceive the world and they perceive other people and so on. So now we also have that kind of little dog familiar behind you. And I want to look at our oracle cards here in a second, but we have the dog behind, and we also have that mother energy. So I feel that, you know, there was or is a very earthy, feminine energy in your life. And I almost wonder if this is like an old school kind of feminist lady, right? That's the energy I'm getting. Very, very involved in the earth. I feel like a gardener, maybe a homesteader, maybe kind of a hippie, maybe a little bit of a witch, right? An herbalist or a healer of some kind. But I feel that this person was kind of a refuge for you, right? This was maybe mom, maybe an aunt, maybe a neighbor, somebody who was older, somebody who was very much a mentor, very much, I feel, helped you see that we don't have to live, you know, by these kind of promoted archetypes, you know, that they're like the real popular archetypes. There's a few of them you can choose from, and that's about it, right? If you're going to be in that kind of mainstream of living, right? And so meeting somebody who is an outsider or being, you know, related to somebody who's an outsider is a gift. In my opinion, right? I myself is probably an outsider, maybe a little biased, but I do think it's a gift because it allows us to see that there are other ways of living. Not everybody's living the same. Now, you might be in a culture or a region or, you know, whatever, where it does appear that most people are about the same. Most people are doing the same things. They're wearing the same kind of things. They're talking about the same things. You know, their opinion is defaulted to kind of the collective agreed upon stance and all of this, right? But then there are those who have escaped that paradigm to some degree, right? And it really does take somebody who can fit into, can activate that Fool energy, because the Fool is like a person who lives there. They have no country, right? This is a person who is a child of the universe. You belong everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And to be that, it's like having a passport to go to all of those border places, to go outside of, you know, the comfort of the established and move out into the unknown. And I feel like having that person, that energy in your life, it has allowed you to be whatever the heck it is that you want to be, and to be many things, and to change throughout your life, to not be chained to this one idea I have of myself. It's like when you meet somebody who played, you know, like high school football, and they were really, really good at it for the little town they lived in, out in the middle of wherever, and they are somebody who the community is like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so. They played, you know, football in like 82, and that was their claim to fame. And, you know, and you're known as that person, and you embrace that thing, and that's who you are forever, right? And that, and that's fine, of course, right? But for you, you've been many things. You've been many things, and you will continue to be other things. You're not afraid of trying different lifestyles, different places to live, you know, being many different archetypes and wearing all the different hats, and you're versatile, okay? Now, I want to take a look at our oracle cards, because I want to kind of know what is bringing this up in your life. What is it that has you kind of thinking about this stuff? Now we have publicity. Okay, publicity. Harmony. Revenge. Okay, so you might be a public facing person. You might be somebody who, well, here on the channel, I know I have a lot of other readers that come over here, people who have channels and are, you know, internet personalities on different platforms and such. It could be that you are something like this. Now, it could also be just your kind of public persona, right? Who you are at work, how you present yourself, to, you know, your social groups, your community, and so on. And I think this is something that you are aware of, and I feel like it makes sense that this would come up, because I feel like you grew up around somebody who was so very conscious of this very thing. And maybe they're just a normal person, you know, doing normal things. There was nothing very interesting about them, but they were living life like they were a movie star, right? They're living life like TMZ was following them around, and worried about their image, worried about what people thought, worried about how's this going to affect my work, or, you know, whatever. And so you can't help but be conscious of these things. But I feel that, you know, there's really kind of these two avenues here, where it's like you can seek harmony in the fact that, yeah, you're being perceived by people. You are, you know, you're being seen. And ultimately, you can't control other people's opinions or their perceptions, or how they, you know, the impressions that they have of you. You can't really control that. So you have to kind of find some harmony in just being whatever you are and doing whatever you are. And sometimes you'll have wonderful days and, you know, be very clear and understandable and, you know, and just very received, right? Received well. And then other days, you know, it might be that things are difficult and you feel, you know, insecure. You're feeling, you know, this very acute awareness of how people are perceiving you, what they're thinking. Are they rejecting me? Do they think I'm talented? Do they think I'm a fool? You know, all of this. And I feel like it goes back to, you know, this root thing of that insecurity of an important role model in your life, right? Somebody who really had a difficult time with their identity. And I'm not saying that you want to enact revenge, but I do feel like there is this awareness growing that, yeah, that really affected me in some ways, you know, and in the worst moments, I can understand how they felt, right? And so there is, I think, an opportunity for some empathy here, but there's also, you know, kind of a space for you to maybe process some of how that made you feel, you know, how that affected you. And ultimately, you know, as I said, I really feel like you are a person who is not afraid to be the many things that you are, you know. But I think that you're in a place where, yeah, you are really kind of looking at this more deeply and seeing how sometimes you maybe do become a little attached to some aspects of self. And that can be something that is empowering, and it can be something that can be quite stifling and frustrating. And so, you know, I think that this is something that we all struggle with. You know, you're not alone in this. And, you know, not to say you're not unique, but this experience is probably not that unique, right? We all kind of have our moments. So to be kind to self here, right? Especially if you're going through some kind of change in your life and these feelings are being brought up, or you're in a new dynamic where you maybe feel a little bit like, I don't know if I fit in here. I don't know what to expect. You know, for myself, my daughter, she's going to a different school this year. And so we're going to meet a whole new set of parents and teachers and you know, I've said on my channel before, my husband and I, shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. He's wonderful. We're kind of like the Addams family of, you know, our area. I'm sure that people perceive us to be quite different because, yeah, we look different, we talk different, we're from a different part of the country originally, you know. The way we dress, just very different, right? The things that, at least perceivably, you know, in small and polite conversation, yeah, we're just into different things, you know. And when I am going into a situation that is new, I do feel a little insecure about that. I worry, what if these people think we're total weirdos, you know? Which, let me just say, we haven't had that experience. We've been, we love where we're at because people are very kind and very open-minded, even for like a really rural area. But you can't help but wonder, is this going to be a uncomfortable situation, right? And so it does. It will bring up these moments where we really look at our identity, who we are, how we present ourselves, you know, and so on. So to be kind to yourself, you know, it's so important that we are the ones that are accepting of our being, and we lead people into that energy by showing them, right? If I'm sitting here telling you all day long I'm a terrible person, I suck, I'm not good at anything, you're going to start to believe me, right? But if I show you that, yeah, I love myself, I'm willing to work hard, you know, to get to where I want to be. I'm willing to change things about myself when I need to. I'm not going to live it blindly to, you know, who I am, and I am shifting and changing and you know, so many different things, and yet I embrace them all. Yeah, that's going to affect how people perceive me. You know, they're going to be more willing to, you know, maybe believe these things about me because it's the energy that is being put off. So be kind to yourself. Be supportive of yourself. You know, look into the practice of radical self-love, right? Radical self-acceptance. Okay, so we have a person here who I feel like is praying for some kind of message, confirmation. I feel like you've been having maybe some phenomena or synchronicities, kind of coincidences, where it almost feels like somebody who has passed, somebody who has transitioned, like they're around. You know, like it feels like, oh, like my grandma, you know, she's leaving things out for me. I'm feeling like she's here with me. And I want some kind of confirmation, so I feel like I'm not just like, you know, making these connections and I'm totally off base here. This is a confirmation. They're here. They're with you. And there's a butterfly. It's like they're showing me that they're so proud of you for your metamorphosis, your self-evolution, how much work you've put into yourself and put into your life. I want to see any specifics that they're going to give me. Okay, so there's something about a dog that would chase rabbits. And I don't know if this is their dog or your dog, but it seems like when you were young. For some reason, they're reminding you about this dog. And I wonder if it's it's something about the house where the dog was. Maybe it was like you would go visit your grandparents, or maybe you had this dog. But there's something about the house, the property, the town. There's like you're drawn to it. I almost wonder if there's like this feeling of wanting to buy the family home, or, you know, buy it and return back to where you grew up or you lived there for some years. But there's something about this piece of place, this land, this I don't know, there's an energy there that wants to be looked at. And so I see you maybe taking a trip there, maybe going to visit or drive by, maybe looking into the property, seeing if it is for sale. But this feels important, and it also wants to be recognized. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to do our gratitude affirmation cards, and I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Timeless carving. Okay, I was going to say craving. Oh no, carving. I am thankful for the past disciplined choices I made that, let me start over. I'm thankful for the past disciplined choices I made that created the options I have today. I am timeless. I am a timeless carving, etched in spirit through my decisions. Practice. Bring to mind a choice you made that required discipline or sacrifice. Reflect on the way that decision shaped your character. All right. I feel like this relates to the first half of our reading, totally. Okay, Capricorn, I'm going to tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you'd like to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you, especially if you are new to the channel. Definitely shout it out in the comment section. Other than that, I'm going to tell you again, I love you, I love you, I love you. Take care of yourself. And thank you all for the beautiful birthday wishes. They really made my day. All right. Good night. We'll talk again real soon. Good night, good night, good night.